The Xbox Showcase has just wrapped up, and there are a ton of games that were revealed for both your Xbox consoles and Xbox Game Pass, and even a brand new hardware reveal. Alongside some huge first-party titles, we also got some incredible third-party announcements, alongside some shadow drops that are available on your Xbox consoles right now. With that, I will be covering the 33 Xbox and Game Pass games that were announced at the Xbox Showcase in 2025. My name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation. Make sure to subscribe for more Xbox content every single day, and let's dive right into these insane Xbox announcements. First up, and the big trailer that kicked off this great showcase, was The Outer Worlds 2, and we even got a brand new launch date for this year. We did also get to see more of this game with the extended direct, and this is looking like a massive step up in all areas compared to the first entry. The world here is a lot bigger, and there was a greater emphasis put on factions, the choices that you can make, and also major improvements to the combat. There is also a nice new addition of weapon types like we see in games like the Borderlands series, with some very weird and wonderful options. If you are interested in The Outer Worlds 2, this is coming to Xbox and day one to Xbox Game Pass on the 29th of October. I'm really loving the extra detail on the corporate satire here, alongside the different options in terms of dialogue and also ways that you can just enter different buildings. It's looking really great, Obsidian are really cooking, and I can't wait for this October. I loved the original High on Life when it came to Xbox Game Pass a few years back now, and I was so shocked to see that High on Life 2 got announced, and I'm really up for it. This one is coming this winter to both the Xbox Series consoles and will be another day one Xbox Game Pass title, as we saw with the first entry. Of course, like the previous game, we are joined by our beloved ragtag team of alien misfits as we shoot, stab and skate our way through some weird alien worlds across the galaxy. Instead of aliens using humans for drugs this time, the story now goes in a wacky new direction, and now aliens are actually using humans in different zoos and a luxury fantastic cruise liner. This trailer really did show us some brand new weapons and characters alongside some fan favourites, and there was even that signature humour that we all know and love. Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy was actually revealed at the Future Games Showcase a day before, but we did get the full reveal at the Xbox Showcase. This new game from Asobo Studios and Focus Entertainment looks to expand the universe of A Plague Tale with a brand new and original story set 15 years before the events of the last game. With a new action-adventure approach, we are now invited to dive into Sophia's past and journey with her to the Minotaur's Island, outsmart deadly foes and unravel some ancient secrets, along with confronting the creature at the heart of a devastating curse. We will be able to wield a sword in one hand and light in the other, and then plunge into the myth of the macula. It looks pretty incredible, but I would like to see a bit more gameplay here. The benefit though is that it's also coming to Xbox Game Pass sometime in 2026. I love the fact that Xbox and Bandai Namco have such a close relationship, and that was made abundantly clear as the Blood of Dawnwalker is an incredible new game that got shown off for the first time on the Xbox floor. This is actually a brand new dark fantasy role-playing saga, and it immediately gave me The Witcher and Tomb Raider vibes, and rightly so, as it's got ex-developers from The Witcher games working behind the scenes. Upon doing some more digging as well, you'll play as Cohen, a young man turned into a Dawnwalker, which is half man, half vampire, and he is forever treading the line between the world of day and the realm of night. I absolutely love the combat here, and I'm always a big sucker for these medieval themed games with some pretty gruesome and dark combat. It did have a few moments where it looked a bit shaky framerate wise, but it does come out in 2026, so I have no doubt we'll see some more improvements by its launch dates. In a transition away from the medieval setting to a more cuter stylized one, but still containing that decapitation, we had the reveal of a new Super Meat Boy. It's actually being developed by a different dev called Slugify, and they're taking the Team Meat's indie darling into a third dimension. Of course, Super Meat Boy 3D is exactly what you love about this series. It's still a challenging platformer where you will guide a cube of meat on a mission to rescue his bandage-made girlfriend, but now it's in a 3D setting. From wall jumping through buzzsaws, collapsing caves, and dying countless times along the way, it looks really great. There does seem to be a lot of old school charm here as well, alongside that fast-paced gameplay, and I'm really actually looking forward to seeing how the devs transition from this franchise from 2D to 3D. It is coming out in early 2026, and is also a day one Xbox Game Pass title. We did actually get a further look at Ninja Gaiden 4 during the show, and it's still exceeding my expectations in every single way. We did see everything here from seamless weapon switching and obliteration techniques to the explosive return of Bloodbind ninjutsu and Ninpo arts. This trailer though really brought us a more brutal, stylish evolution of the series. We also got an awesome sneak peek at some new characters like Shiori, some massive boss fights, the mysterious connection to the legendary Ryu, and a near future Tokyo that's struggling in the grips of an overwhelming evil. It does look as though Ninja Gaiden 4 is set to be another fantastic addition to this franchise, and it launches on the 21st of October. Oh, and if I forgot to mention, it's also coming day one to Xbox Game Pass. Surprisingly, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is getting a brand new DLC, and it arrives this September, and it's called The Order of the Giants. This DLC is set during the main game and expands on the story of the Nephilim Order. We will of course face off against some old threats and new foes, navigating Rome beyond the walls of Vatican City, and then also uncovering the legend of a colossal beast. We did only get a very brief look, but again, this one gave us a release date and it's coming on the 4th of September. It's definitely worth upgrading to the premium upgrade edition if you have a Game Pass subscription, as it's still pretty cheap at their discounted price points. In a twist that nobody really expected, Pokemon developer Game Freak announced Beast of Reincarnation, and compared to the likes of the Pokemon games with their awful visuals, this one looks absolutely incredible. I have looked a bit further into this one as I really love the trailer, and this is a new action RPG set in post-apocalyptic Japan. The world here has also become consumed by a different corruption and then overtaken by some cool and some pretty gross looking formidable beasts. We will take control of a protagonist called Emma, who is a cursed outcast, and she's actually joined by her loyal dog called Ku. They will journey through a dangerous, ever-shifting world that demands precision and mastery of technical combat. It kind of gives me Monster Hunter vibes or even Wild Heart vibes, but the combat here is more action RPG orientated like Black Myth Wukong. Even so, this still comes to us soon, and it's also a day one Game Pass title. My highlight of the show was easily Clockwork Revolution, and I know many of you out there are saying exactly the same thing. This wasn't a short snippet of gameplay either. We actually got a rather extensive look at everything in the game, and I'm beyond hyped, even though we didn't get a release date. We got a lovely new look at the steampunk city of Aphelion, and we saw a ton here as well. There was everything from gangs that looked to prey on the weak, tons of automatons with some being funny little puppets, and even the showcase of being able to transform the environment based on your own choices. There is also of course a massive emphasis here on the choices that you make, along with the time-bending mechanics that not only affect the NPCs but the overarching environment. The combat here also looks pretty great to me, and the added benefit of that in-depth weapon customizer made me even more excited to dive into this world. I will try to do another video very soon covering everything we know about Clockwork Revolution so far, so make sure to subscribe down below if you're interested in hearing more about this upcoming Xbox Game Pass title. Grounded 2 looks to be another fantastic hit from Obsidian, and my god, this developer is absolutely cooking this 2025. Much like the first title though, you can expect to be living a Bug's Life kind of adventure in this new game, as you play as a teen who's essentially been shrunk down and thrown into a dangerous and now oversized world. The new setting though is called Brick Hollow Park, and it looks pretty big compared to the original game. With a brand new environment, some new creepy crawly species for you to fight, and a bunch of new exciting systems to keep track of if you hope to stay alive, Grounded 2 already looks as if it has the makings to be one of the best survival games of all time. The good news is that Grounded 2 will be launching into Xbox Game Preview and also Steam Early Access on the 29th of July, so it's coming out very soon, and it will also be a part of Xbox Game Pass at its launch. The latest title from the Silent Hill 2 remake developer is a third-person survival horror experience with a very retro-futuristic setting, and also an eerie story that involves time travel and the end of human civilization. Cronos The New Dawn looks absolutely incredible, and looks to implement everything we love from games like Dead Space. The new trailer we were shown highlights the game's merging mechanics, which allow orphans, which are the enemies in this game, to essentially absorb their allies that have fallen in combat, and then turn into bigger and faster threats. It looks awesome, and I know many of you horror fans will be foaming at the mouth. And to top it off, they've also let us know that it's coming in fall 2025. Of course, during the show, we did get the standard fare of seeing what's up and coming for both the Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76, and there's some nice content here if you love either of these games. The Elder Scrolls Online Season of the Worm Cult starts on the 18th of June, and we got to see a bit more detail here. This will be a true sequel to the main narrative of ESO, and you'll be investigating the resurgence of the Worm Cult, which will meet some brand new allies and join forces with some familiar faces. It looks pretty fun, and I'm sure all of you Elder Scrolls Online fans will love diving into this brand new expansion. We then had a look at Fallout 76, and they are adding a rather substantial fishing update, and I do actually quite like it. You can now grab a rod, find a pond or even just a small puddle, and start catching fish across Appalachia. They mentioned there are over 30 weird and wonderful fish waiting to be reeled in, and it can be done anywhere that you can swim. It's a nice little update and it's available right now. I will also briefly mention that we got another Sea of Thieves shout, and this is for Season 17 called Smuggler's Tide. It seems as though details are still pretty light at the moment, but at the very least we're getting a brand new faction, which is cool to see, and shows that they're constantly evolving on this game. Otherwise, it seems like a pretty typical new Sea of Thieves season, with some new loot and voyages to uncover, but if you're interested, this one lands this August. Revealed during the showcase alongside an action-packed gameplay trailer, we got a brand new look at Aphelion, a new IP from the team Don't Nod, the same team behind the great Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. The new game looks to follow the protagonist and astronaut Ariana, who is stranded on the frozen planet of Persinope. She must survive and brave the landscapes and shifting realities of this planet to rescue her wounded partner named Thomas. The end of the trailer also seems to hint at something more sinister to this sci-fi action game, but it could really take a turn. Don't Nod also confirmed that the game will blend both exploration, traversal, and tense stealth gameplay, and that players will have to avoid some lurk threats and uncover haunting secrets buried beneath the ice. We did get a release window of 2026, so it does seem a little while off, but I will update you as we get more news, but a big benefit is that it's coming day one to Xbox Game Pass. Weird is one of those words that I try to avoid, because it usually means I'm not going to even attempt to understand or unpack the specific things that is going on. But Supernatural Hotel Renovator, There Are No More Ghosts at the Grand really stood out to me last night. This is a narrative-driven adventure game that follows Chris David, a man who inherits a dilapidated seaside hotel from his late father. His goal is essentially renovate the hotel within 30 days and nights using 7 somewhat magical power tools. The trailer that was shown gave us a glimpse of the different tools like sandblasters and furniture cannons, where you can blast away wallpaper, vacuum up trash, and redecorate. It may look like a bit like House Flipper or Power Simulator at first glance, but that's not exactly the full picture. I absolutely dig these insane ideas, and although I really wasn't sold at first, I am now. It comes out in early 2026 and day one onto Xbox Game Pass. Another little and quick update is that we're getting a brand new DLC for Age of Mythology Retold, and it's called Heavenly Spear and arrives later this year. I did a little bit more digging into this one after the show, and it will bring us 12 gods from Japanese mythology alongside some brand new units. We also have some brand new missions that will await us upon booting the game alongside the Japanese pantheon. I haven't really played Age of Mythology myself, but I know many of you in chat were actually quite excited for this brand new DLC, and now I just have to try out the game personally prior to its launch. MUDANG Two Hearts was another massive highlight of the entire show for me, especially as I'm a big fan of games like Ghost Recon, and this looked exactly like that, but with Splinter Cell elements. This one is looking to mix tactical stealth action with strong story-driven elements, and the game looks to be a unique experience that's rooted in Korean culture and visions of the future. We got a rather nice look at the freedom to choose between stealthy infiltration, melee combat, or guns blazing, and it looks like you can switch strategies at any time during the entire game. The realism in this one looks pretty good as well, and visually, well, it looked utterly spectacular. We did get a tease of a somewhat zombie aspect towards the end, which I really wasn't completely sold on, but I can't wait to hear more about this game when it comes out later in 2026. I loved the original Planet of Lana, so seeing the announcement of Planet of Lana 2, Children of the Leaf, had me thrilled, especially as this one is coming to Xbox Game Pass as well as a day one release. This one is a full continuation of the 2023 game, with its gorgeous 2D world. Of course, we will once again take on the role of Lana and her adorable companion Mui as they navigate a strange world after a robot invasion. The sequel promises more clever puzzle solving, as well as refined stealth mechanics, new agility challenging action sequences, and a profound sci-fi story. As mentioned, this is coming to both the Xbox Series X and S consoles in 2026, and I can't wait to dive back into this gorgeous indie world. Now, I won't lie to you, but I'm not a massive anime guy. I have watched a couple like The Shield Hero and bits of Naruto, but this is the first I'm hearing about Solo Leveling. Well, if you're a fan of this anime, things are going to get even more wild for you as it's back, and this time with a fresh co-op twist. That's right, the anime sensation is leveling up with a brand new game, and is packing some serious multiplayer chaos. Solo leveling Arise Overdrive is a new version of this game that was actually stuck on mobile and PC, and is now going next gen with some cooperative gameplay. Revealed during the show, this edition lets you and up to 3 other friends team up to take on some massive monsters together. If you've ever wanted to feel like a squad of hunters wrecking tons of different enemies and bosses, then this is your chance. It comes to PC first at the end of this year, and then to Xbox consoles in 2026. There's another creature catching game on the horizon, but this one is known as Aniimo, and is described as a new free-to-play next-gen creature catching open world ARPG, which is set for both the Xbox Series X and S consoles sometime next year. Aniimo is coming from Paw Print Studio, and it looks a bit like Palworld and DokeV. Anyways, it seems like it'll be a very cute and fluffy one, taking place in the interactive and expansive open world of Idyll. It is kind of like Pokemon here, which is probably making Nintendo lawyers foaming at the mouth, especially as you'll be able to collect creatures, merge them, explore the land, and then battle other players and so much more. If you like Palworld, you'll probably be interested in this one, and we do have a confirmed release window of 2026 if you are interested. Obviously, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 is arriving this July, and will be day one onto Xbox Game Pass, and the Xbox team did decide to debut a brand new trailer ahead of its release. We got a further look at this game, which is looking like a pretty solid entry for the franchise, alongside some pretty wacky crossovers. Never did I think I would even see the Doomslayer shredding around a water park on a skateboard, but I pretty much liked it. Even so, this one has a demo which is dropped right now on the Xbox Store, so you can try it out right now before it arrives next month. As an awesome announcement, the Spiritfarer devs have finally returned with a brand new IP, and it's called At Fate's End. While Spiritfarer offered a more slow-paced experience filled with charming characters looking for final peace, At Fate's End has a contrasting action-packed style. Their gameplay looks equal parts narrative fantasy and intriguing combat style, since you can use tactical dialogue mid-fight or psychological insight about your family to turn the tide of battle. As you progress through the story though, you'll be facing more of your estranged family members, and you advance your skill tree in different ways depending on whether you defeat or reconcile with them. Thunder Lotus Games hasn't set a hard release date as of yet for this one, but At Fate's End is expected to release sometime in 2026, and will launch day one onto Xbox Game Pass. Gears of War Reloaded debuted a brand new trailer ahead of its August launch date, and there isn't really much to say other than it's just Gears of War, but looking better than ever. We have seen this game updated and remastered before, so you kind of know what to expect at this point. What wasn't mentioned though is that a beta will be dropping on the 13th of June, so you can try out the multiplayer if you want to quash some grubs in this new game. You can get access if you already own Gears of War Ultimate Edition, have a Game Pass subscription, or if you just pre-order the game. Persona 4 Revival was officially announced for both Xbox and Game Pass, but we still don't have a firm release date. However, I know so many are really thrilled for this announcement. The trailer is quite remarkably short, and all you really get are some shots of Persona 4's small town countryside setting, some snippets of the gameplay score, some spooky TVs, and then the grey-haired player character just running around. But if you've played the beloved RPG, you don't need much more to really get the gist of this one. Notably, this one is coming without the original voice talent, as a couple of the original actresses did confirm the existence of the remake and that they wouldn't be in it at the end of May. Still, this is looking pretty cool. I love that we're seeing more Persona games dropping into Xbox Game Pass day one, and I have my fingers crossed we still get this one in early 2026. I am no fighting game enthusiast, but I'm sure there are still plenty of you out there who are really excited for this next announcement. Invincible's first ever console game has finally been revealed, and it's a tournament quality 3 vs 3 tag fighter that has even a story mode from the team behind the TV show. So far, the roster includes Invincible, Atomy, Bulletproof, and Thula, and it's been confirmed there will be a lot more coming before the game launches in 2026. The fighting mechanics seem to be all about that sort of fast-paced and brutal combos that fittingly tear your opponents apart and destructive environments as well. Its movement and pace are very reminiscent of a much bloodier Dragon Ball FighterZ, which is absolutely a good thing for sure. A very huge announcement which so many of us were waiting for finally occurred. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is coming to both the Xbox Series consoles after a lengthy wait, and it will be with us by the end of 2025. You probably already know what Final Fantasy VII entails, and this one is an RPG which many of us have wanted to see for quite some time. You can wishlist it now on the Xbox Store if you want to dive into this one, as it's a full version of Remake, including your Yuffie-centered DLC that also leads the story right into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Alongside FF7 though, we also got the shadow drop of Final Fantasy XVI, and it's available right now on your Xbox consoles. This was a huge shadow drop which I've already been playing myself, and I've been loving my time with it so far. This one is not a turn-based game like Final Fantasy VII, and is more reminiscent of games like Devil May Cry with that very fast-paced action with tons of different combos. I will be doing a review specifically for the Xbox version, which I will have up in the next few days, and I will also be publishing a performance video comparing both the Xbox Series X and S versions, so make sure to subscribe for that down below. One game that I was so happy to see was the next project from Double Fine. This team makes some really weird, wacky, but absolutely bloody wonderful games, and Keeper looks no different, especially as it seems like we're a walking sentient lighthouse. They have mentioned that this is a game without words, and it's a third-person atmospheric adventure set in a post-human world after our time in the sun has long since passed. The creative lead behind this one is actually Lee Petty, who joined Double Fine many moons ago as the art director for Brutal Legends, so you know it's going to be an absolute nubber banger. The art in the trailer is absolutely gorgeous, and it looked like the world will be a beautiful one for us to explore. I can't wait for this one. It comes out this year, and I love that it's also coming day one to Xbox Game Pass, so we can all try out this new adventure, especially if you're a bit skeptical. Before the couple of big highlights that I wanted to mention, the closure for this showcase was Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and for all of you out there, I won't lie, I was actually kind of disappointed to see this as the one more thing, as I really don't care much for the Call of Duty series anymore outside of the campaigns. This one though is actually a continuation of the story back in Black Ops 2, so that does have me personally excited, but the timeline will shift from the 1990s to 2035, bringing that near futuristic gameplay back to the mix alongside David Mason, which is the son of former Black Ops protagonist Alex Mason. This news game has also been confirmed as a full release, featuring a brand new cooperative campaign, some new maps, and more zombies. We don't have many more details at the moment, but Activision have confirmed we will see more of this summer, and it will also be coming day one to Game Pass. How do you feel about this new Call of Duty announcement? You'll have to let me know down below. Now, Phil Spencer did turn up at the show and actually teased some pretty big news, which many kind of brushed off at the time. In a kind of blink and you'll miss it moment at the end of this showcase, the Xbox boss did tease 4 massive Xbox games coming out in 2026, including 2 games that we've never heard of before. Phil listed the brand new Fable, Gears of War E-Day, and a brand new Forza game, and then also an unknown return of a classic. I am assuming that the new Forza game will actually be Forza Horizon 6, although there's still a chance it could be a brand new entry in the Forza Motorsport series. As for the returning classic, I have no idea what that could be right now, but it does cast our minds back a little bit to late last summer when a Halo Combat Evolved remaster was rumoured to be coming. What do you think? I'd be keen to know your thoughts and your predictions down below. For me, the main highlight of the entire show was for the new Asus Xbox handheld, and it is called the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X, and both of these new handhelds will be coming by the end of 2025. As expected, this is a Windows PC handheld that will support Xbox Play Anywhere, PC Game Pass, and Xbox Cloud gaming titles, as well as other PC launchers such as Steam, the Epic Game Store, and so much more. I can't wait to play games like Helldivers 2 on an Xbox branded handheld, and even take advantage of those great Steam sales. Windows 11 is also being optimized for the device, featuring several new and first of their kind features, including a full screen experience and Xbox Game Bar integration into the ROG Ally's Armory Crate suite. There's also been no reveal of the price yet, but going online and looking at the current Asus ROG handhelds, I think these will range from anywhere from $450 up to $800, though they're certainly not going to be cheap bits of kits. Are you going to pick one up this year? You have to let me know below. Oh, and before we end, we also got some nice Silksong news. The game is coming this year alongside the launch of the Xbox handheld. We got a little snippet of gameplay during this bit as well of this reveal, but really nothing more. I do apologise to all of you Silksong bros who still haven't got a release date, but at least we have a confirmed window and it's still coming to Xbox Game Pass this year. So, what was your favourite announcement from the Xbox Game Showcase this year, and how would you grade it out of 10? Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Xbox content and coverage every single day, as I'm bringing a ton of Xbox content out for this week. As always, a big shout out to our awesome channel members for your continued support, and you can also join if you click that button below. Do stick around as well for some awesome Final Fantasy content coming out later today and tomorrow.